Stop wasting money on prepping food. Now, of course, we want to be able to stockpile food, but we want to do it for the best price because, let's be honest, if you're going to stock away food for a year or two, whatever, you want to get the best price because the prices will amplify and become huge if you don't get the right kind of foods. However, sometimes, you have like vendors or companies trying to sell you their specific food, saying this is better, go with this food, when in reality, it is far more expensive. A lot of it depends on what you need, by the way. So I'm going to compare 3 different foods today. The first is simply going to be freeze-dried food. Now, I have on here, please don't judge me for this, I have Augustin Farms chicken flavored vegetarian meat substitute. Where this can came from, I'll never know. I don't like buying any vegetarian substitutes. I'm all about chicken. So I asked my daughter if she would go down and grab this off her shelves, some chicken. She goes, well, Dad, I can't find the chicken, so I found this. So we'll just pretend this is regular chicken. I am certainly not knocking Augustin Farms. They're fantastic. And having freeze-dried chicken, obviously I have some. Again, pretend it's real chicken. It's good. It's very important to have this. Backpacking, get-home bags, etc. It has a place, but it's kind of pricey. Let's go ahead and take a look at this first on Walmart.com. I mean, honestly, it doesn't have to be Walmart, but it gives us a good pound-for-pound price comparison. So here we are, Augustin Farms, real white chicken pieces instead of the vegetarian stuff. And this is 1 pound, but you can't go by this because this is dry. Obviously, you put the water in it and it actually makes the watery chicken, the fresh chicken. If I click on this right here, it says, look, 2.5 cups of freeze-dried chicken, rehydrate with 2 cups of water equals a pound of chicken. Okay, cool. So to give you an idea about this, 2.5 cups for a pound. So when we look at a half a cup dry, that's 15 servings for the whole container. When we look for the price for this, we're looking at about $68 for this. So that comes out to be about, hold your breath, $22 a pound for chicken. That's some pricey chicken. Now, again, I'm not knocking freeze-dried. I'm not knocking Augustin Farms. I know a lot of people have a freeze dryer. I do too. I always tell people, by the way, the best way for a freeze dryer, if you want to buy one, because it's so expensive, is you better really be preserving all the time to be able to make up for that cost. And it is cost effective if you are a major class prepper, always prepping. But listen, you don't have to have the freeze dryer. You can buy this Augustin Farms chicken. And a couple other things about it. Obviously, you just have to add water to it. In reality, if you add hot water, it works much better. But it doesn't have to be hot water. You'll just have to let it sit longer in that water so it can reconstitute. And honestly, if you ask my opinion, it's quality chicken. It's good stuff. It tastes just like fresh chicken, practically speaking, already cubed up and cut. All right, so that's one option. Option 2 is buying the canned chicken. So here we are, great value chunk chicken breast, 12.5 ounces. Yeah, 12.5 ounces for this can. So if we do a quick calculation for this one, then we're looking at $3.56 a pound for this chicken. Obviously, night and day difference. Freeze-dried chicken, $22, less than $4 for this canned chicken from Walmart. Now, a couple things about this chicken I really want you to look at is, number one, obviously you can just pop the can open and off you go. Pull-top cans are not my favorite. They'll last quite a while too, by the way. Just you have to be more careful or gentle when you stack these, like in your basement or whatever. But honestly, in my opinion, the texture is not near as good. But listen, $3.56 a pound compared to $22 a pound, I'd rather deal with the texture personally, especially when we're talking about crap it's the fan. Well, you know what? Texture may not be that big of a deal. But this chicken has something else you need to look at too. It has this beautiful thing called preservatives. And I'm not talking about salt. Salt's fine. Salt's required for your diet, especially in crap it's the fan. But we have modified food starch, sodium phosphates, etc. And then, look, we have chicken flavor and then flavoring. I'm not sure what that mystery flavoring is, but that is something you may want to consider. And people say, listen, crap it's the fan. Who cares about things like preservatives? And I'm with you. We're talking about, you know what? Anything is good as far as food goes. You want to have stuff. But listen, you can't really have the argument because you're watching this ahead of time. Crap has not hit the fan yet. So personally, I'd rather buy the better stuff. Do I have this? Clearly, I pulled this up from the basement. But I do have alternatives that I'm actually shifting into now instead of actually buying the great value stuff. I don't like the texture of the great value stuff anyway. You can see it's a very poor grade chicken. Keystone chicken's another option. Very good. Now, with these, when I first saw this, I was like, boy, this is really expensive. The cans are bigger, 28-ounce cans. How does this one size up? So now we're talking about, for a 28-ounce can, we're looking at right here, $4.53 a pound. But this is what really catches my eye. Minimally processed, fully cooked. That's great. And when I look at the ingredients, this is great. Chicken, and salt. Fantastic. No preservatives. It is ready to go. So for a much better chicken without that processed food, those added ingredients I don't like, for $1 more, you can get the Keystone compared to the smaller cans. I have both. I have all three. I have the freeze-dried stuff too, because I really believe it's all about diversity or what you need specifically. Let me show you that with this. I made a handy dandy. Of course, I did the best chicken chart for you, comparing Augustin Farms, Great Value, and Keystone. First off, I think Augustin is great quality. The Great Value, it's decent, it'll get you by. And I think Keystone is great quality. And this next part is arguable because it needs heat. It works best with heat. Whereas the other cans, obviously no heat required whatsoever. Augustin Farm has its place. You know what? You're going to want to carry this in a backpack, like a bug out bag or get home bag. Where obviously Great Value and Keystone cans, they don't work in backpacks very well. These are best for your pantry or your stockpiles. Augustin Farms, no preservatives. Keystone, no preservatives. Oh, but Great Value, preservatives, I hate that. And then the price comparison. $22 a pound for Augustin. In my opinion, you should very much limit yourself with this because it's only for, in my opinion, get home bag, bug out bag, etc. That's the best place for this, so I don't have much of it. However, for Great Value and Keystone, $3.56 a pound, $4.53 a pound, almost $1 more for Keystone, but the quality is much better. So if you think expiration has to do with anything, I know obviously freeze-dried food lasts 30 years, but you know what? So does canned food. And this comes from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. I completely agree with this. Good news. Shelf-stable canned goods are safe, more or less. You ready for this? Indefinitely. They do not expire. Granted, if they have dents and stuff in them, yeah, it may make them unsafe, rust, etc. But canned food does not expire. Don't think you have to toss it out. You don't. So again, diversity is key. And it doesn't necessarily mean chicken. You can compare these three with all the different kind of meats because I've made in past videos. In fact, I'll link this one next. If you haven't watched this video, next, by the way, it goes through what you want to have for your crap hits the fan diet. It really makes all the difference in the world. It's a longer video, but it's so worth its weight in gold in watching it. But it's really what you want. If you have some backpacking stuff going on, freeze-dried, you can't beat it. It's super expensive, but it's super lightweight as well. When you're looking at the canned ones, depends if you want the texture and stuff. For me personally, I have all three, but I like the Keystone quite a bit. And this is not like a sponsor video. This is simply just putting out the best information for you. And I think Keystone meats are fantastic, especially when you compare to Great Value. But if you're trying to save the money, then stock up on tons of the Great Value, different types of meats. And I would diversify. Whatever meat floats your boat, pick up a lot of it. All right, which of these do you like the best? Do you like the Augustin Farms, the Great Value, or the Keystone? Put it in the comments below, everybody. And again, watch this next video. It is so enlightening, helping you understand what you truly need for crap hits the fan. Thanks for watching.